And today we are talking with Lisa, who hates sweet potatoes. She was once named Miss Congeniality, and her nickname is Cookie. She can carry on a conversation in 5 languages, and she once had a near miss with a golf ball. She managed to hit a tractor while working at a golf course. She wishes she was from Sweden, where the reindeer people live. Today, she's living in Tuscany, and that's why we have her with us today. So, welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. I guess I should say buongiorno.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fantastic. So welcome. We are so glad you're here. We're going to start the 7-minute timer. I got that going. And so just start with, you were telling us earlier that you love Tuscany. Tell us why it's so special to you, Lisa. Give us a little of that.
Well, it's special because especially this part of Tuscany, we call it the other Tuscany because it's relatively undiscovered. And it's like stepping into the past. People are still living like they did 50 years ago. I have chickens in my front yard. They're not mine, but I get eggs from the neighbors. And we have our own olives. We make our own olive oil. We all help each other during the harvest. And whoever place it is makes lunch for everybody. It's usually a barbecue in the middle of the olive orchard. It's refreshing and magical, and the people are wonderful. So why would I go anywhere else?
Right. It sounds beautiful.
That's wonderful. So, when people come to Tuscany to visit, what is something that surprises them about it?
Well, it sounds strange, but 0 kilometer food is such a big deal in the States, I know. And here it's just the norm. They do talk about it because now they know that that's what travelers want,
Right.
but it's just the norm. And it's so surprising that all the food is organic and it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So I think I was surprised actually. So
Yeah.
And
I would be
it's very
surprised by
special.
that all the
Yeah.
food is sourced so locally. Yeah, that's quite amazing.
Absolutely.
And do you have a favorite place that you like to take visitors when people come, like with family or friends come to visit you, Lisa? Where's the first place you like to take them?
I take them to my little town of Anghiari, which is 10 kilometers down the road, six miles down the road. It's been voted one of the 10 most beautiful villages in Italy. It has what's called the bandiera arancione, the orange flag. It's a great honor, and it's a beautiful medieval. It looks like a castle. It is a castle, really. It's a fortified town. It's lovely.
Oh, beautiful.
That sounds incredible. So, where are some of the best views? I love taking photos. So, are there favorite spots to go to take photos of the cities or the
Actually,
landscape?
the view from the place we stay on my trip that I designed, the view it's just nature. It's spectacular and tranquil. And I just came back from my daily walk and walked right past where we stay on my trip and looked at the Apennine Mountains in the distance. And they had a little dusting of snow because we got just a little tiny bit of snow today. And it's just magical here. You are out in the middle of nature. And this part of Tuscany is that way. We do go into Anghiari on the trip, so you get to do some shopping, but it's really about being in nature, and it's beautiful here.
That's one of my favorite things about travel is being able to be in different places to see the way it is, the landscape, the nature, whether it's snow or heat. So amazing. That sounds great. We always ask how you connect with locals. So when you go into the little village, is it easy to get to know local people? I imagine it is, but is that something that's common?
Yeah, it is actually. And that's one of the lovely things about Italy is people love sharing their home with people. They want to share how they live. They want to, if we're lucky, when we walk by Giovanni's house on my trip, he'll be pressing his grapes and we can watch him make his wine. And they just want to share their traditions with you. And they're very open and warm and welcoming. It's really special in that way too.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's hard when you travel, because in the States, people are very shy and averse to, strangers approaching them. But when you go to places like this, they want you to, like you said, come into their home and eat with them and let me show you what I have and invite you into their yard. And it feels a little
Absolutely.
foreign to us, but it's exactly what they want. And it's not weird or odd to them at all. It's just the second nature. So that sounds beautiful. I am anxious to get out and travel and come see you, Lisa,
We
so we
all?
can meet your
I
neighbors.
know.
I can't wait. So much fun.
Right. And the food. You've mentioned the food a little bit and how locally sourced it is. So go into a little more detail about the foods and the meals. We
Well,
love
this
to hear.
particular area is really famous for its pecorino, which is the sheep cheese. And
okay.
it's wonderful. You can get it fresh or medium aged or aged for a long time. So it's almost like a Parmesan. And it's wonderful. And our area is starting to do much more in the way of wine too. When we first moved here 15 years ago, they didn't have a lot of wine. And now it's really starting to open up here. But we're very close to Arezzo, where there are wonderful, wonderful wineries. And my partner is a sommelier. So poor me, we have a really shoddy wine cellar in our house.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So the food sounds amazing. You mentioned your trip, and I was going to ask what you would suggest for someone wanting to go. And I imagine it's, some of the things that you do. So do you have a tips for someone who wants to come to Tuscany, where they would, what areas they would select to visit and that kind of thing?
Well, it's great because where we live is about a 45-minute train ride from Florence. So that would be their landing point, and they can do Florence for sure. And then they just hop on the train down to the town of Arezzo, Arezzo. And I'll pick them up there, and we come up into the foothills of the Alps here. They're not Alps, but that's the name of it, the Alpi di Catania. And they need to know that they are going to be doing some walking on this trip. It's a hiking trip.
Okay.
And I offer optional guided meditations and journaling prompts. And so it's a little combination of Italy and getting back to your wild side is what I like to say.
Oh, I like that. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds fabulous.
And I like that there's a train that goes right from Florence. So it's one of the wonderful things about Europe is there's easy transportation into these smaller villages. You don't need to rent a car. You can hop on a train and get where you need to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
That sounds incredible. So where to for you next, Lisa, as a traveler?
As a traveler, I want to go back to Brazil. I lived in Brazil for 6 years, and it's a magical place, and too many people don't know about it. So that's going to be the next trip I design is in Brazil, and we'll be going there.
Oh,
and that is our 7 minutes. Look at that.
Yeah, you did it.
All of it. Oh, and I'm so glad you shared the village where you're at. And you said it's a fortified village, right? It's like a castle. I've been to a few of those, and that's quite magical because it's all enclosed and it has this like little nesty feeling. So it sounds beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And April and I have a new question and answer series. So if you look in our show notes below here, you'll see a link. You can send us your questions, send us your photos, and we'd be happy to share them and answer your questions. And that is it for us. Thank you, and travel with us with real stories from real people. Thanks, Lisa.
Lisa. It was wonderful.
My pleasure. Thank you.